Well, thank you, because I think that that's been Service 800's experience as well, that when you go into a measurement process and you think of it as a service quality measurement program or a service experience program or follow-up or quality assurance, then it's very natural that people are going to be accepting. It's also very important that that follow-up script is very short, very concise. We find that after 10 questions, actually 9.3 questions, customers are no longer willing to participate. The drop-off rate starts, and the inattentiveness to accurate responses surfaces. I see also that Richard is asking, when most interaction is geared to responding to a customer issue, what is done internally to help gain more insight into the customer? In other words, to collect what you learn about them. Dave, when you transmit information about customers who have just received a service experience, you don't transmit just their name and their contact information so that the follow-up process can be just to get general feedback. You attach information to that customer that talks about the product, the technician, the type of repair, all kinds of things, because I know that you slice that information lots of different ways to get a lot more value out of the data. Am I understanding that correctly?
Yes, we do, Jean. The process that we have here, obviously hot sheets get handled within 2 hours of when they come in, but the normal, if we take the week's feedback, and my admin in particular is the one who has to do it, but she takes the complete feedback that we got from all clients, and she goes in, takes that data, manipulates it down to sort it down to the service area, the client, and the engineer. So when the managers actually get that data, they can see everybody's data if they want to see within CompuCom. But in particular, because we don't want them sorting through tons of data based on a number of feedback conversations that we conduct each week, we want them to focus on their particular area of responsibility. So they would see by client and by engineer what happened in their patch for that week. They see all of the questions that came back, and they see all of the client comments. What a lot of our managers really like to do is to sort by comment, and they find patterns. The one I mentioned earlier, we bring a new engineer on, and maybe we haven't done as good a job of orientated our new associate that we should have, and we'll start to see patterns of, the engineer didn't update me before they left the site. That's one of the good examples that a manager can see in their particular area at the client level and the engineer level. That's a real easy one to go back and address very quickly and to have a change in behavior. And we'll see that back. If you go back and follow up on that and you look at the surveys that come back, weeks later from those conversations, you'll see a change on the engineer where all of a sudden those less than positive comments start to disappear.
Well, thanks, Dave. And we're getting some excellent questions here. I wish we could respond to all of them. I'll choose the next question and.
Why don't we take two more, Jean? For one, follow up to Richard, the question that he asked, and then one more from Melissa.
Thank you. Okay, well then we'll do these last two questions, and then I'm sure Tico will give us instructions on how to submit additional questions that we can handle offline. But Richard wanted to clarify with his question earlier. He's interested in how CompuCom provides feedback to the client about the client's environment, so that the client might be able to improve.
Well,
that goes back to your example of some weaknesses you found in their help desk that was out of the scope of your work, correct?
Correct. But that's what we call our stoplight process, where for every major client we have, we define a major client as basically our top 100. We do have a revenue amount we assign to that, but there is a key service or key executive like myself that's assigned and has the responsibility to conduct that feedback with a C-level executive every month about what we learned of our own service provided that we provided that particular month. We also solicit questions. The questions we do have that we solicit from the executives is their opinion, not just of the service event, but of the overall CompuCom relationship. So, they can think that, we're doing a great job in service delivery and fixing their products, but they may be unhappy with billing, or they may be unhappy with, product delivery, or we might have recommended a product that just does not meet their expectations. So the feedback that we solicit from the client it's an open door. We have a set of questions that we ask, and Gene, more than happy to share that with you because I don't think there's anything that's a secret in there, but it goes beyond just asking about how did we do on a break and fix event. It's really about the overall relationship and everything we do with the client. If you take the feedback we get from those conversations, it's kind of a way to open the door to have a different level of conversation with the C-level executive, because again, we're presenting this as here's data we collected from a neutral third party, and we want to share with you what we've learned. So it's kind of, we're not here to tell you things are wrong or make recommendations. We're here to share information and work with you to help improve the environment, whether it be on our side or their side or jointly together.
I suspect that helps you accomplish a really big problem, and that is if there is some negative performance that you know of within an organization, for you to go into that organization and claim that they have the deficiencies, that's a lot more painful, a lot more uncomfortable than being able to take objective, statistically tested data into them to share with them that there's an area that should be discussed.
Well, we never present it that way, Gene. We never go back in and say we've got some negative information we want to share with you about your environment. We always go back and try and present it from a positive standpoint of, here's some opportunities, here's what we've learned. Maybe sometimes we have some recommendations, or we'll say to the client, do you have some recommendations of things you'd like us to do to help you to improve these areas? So we kind of don't like to go in and present it as bad information and point fingers.
Understand. So our last question is from Melissa, and Melissa's asking about how CompuCom has in the past been able to quantify the ROI based on reduced costs or customer retention. In other words, perhaps you could just share what your ideas might be about how an organization would go about actually collecting the real dollars associated with the savings that a customer satisfaction measurement program has caused. I would imagine customer retention is one place to start.
Customer retention is one, and I think the other big one is pay for performance. We do receive overall, CompuCom is the largest independent authorized warranty provider other than the OEMs in North America. So when you look at the amount of warranty dollars that we receive, I guess I don't reason why I can't share this, but if we look at our pay for performance dollars of the overall percentage of warranty, it's probably about 25% of the warranty dollars. That's right to the bottom line. That's, if you just got standard reimbursement, you got X number of dollars. If you get, X plus 25%, that's a significant number of dollars at the end of the year that went right to your bottom line. Now, again, if you go back and look at the feedback you're getting from the conversations and you're paying attention to the particular questions, and the ones that have the biggest impact are fixed time and communications. Most customers don't relate to response time. They relate to resolution time. So if you can take the data that you do have, and if the client's number one concern or feedback you're getting is it's taking too long to fix, and you can go back in and look at, again, you have to know if it's a warranty account or a non-warranty account, what you're doing. But if you see, and I used that example earlier, if you see the problem is your fill rate on warranty parts from the OEMs is causing you to have second visits for longer duration times, which we know dissatisfies customers, you have the ability to adjust you may make a small investment to get some parts in there, but on the other side of that, you're reducing your second visits, which you certainly don't get paid for from the OEMs. So bottom line, you can turn that into reducing your cost and increasing your margin in these accounts.
Okay, thanks. So, and for those companies who don't have pay-for-performance programs or incentives to complete work on time and at a particular satisfaction level, would I be correct in guessing that the next area that you could use to calculate or quantify your cost savings would be in manpower, like less turnover amongst your field engineers, less training, meaning only training those people who need training, releasing field engineers who are not productive. Would that be fair?
Yeah, all of the above. I think if you look at it, certainly, again, looking at a client base, and in our particular environment, training varies from account to account. Because we are multi-vendor, some environments may be a heavy IBM or some may be heavy HP. And by the way, one of the things that does happen, we sometimes do readjust our own staffing to move engineers from one account to another account. Sometimes that's at the engineer's request because they'd like to learn different products. They become stagnant in one account, or they'd like a different environment, as well as, sometimes not everybody fits into every environment, so we can readjust our resources there. We do, our attrition rate overall from engineers, voluntary attrition, is probably less than 10%. Our managed piece of the attrition, we probably manage out of the business 5% of our people because they don't meet our standards and our client standards in terms of their expectations of maybe professionalism or even competency. So, again, what the conversation feedback really does, it tells you where to go look. You have to, you have to go and dig into your own data, and you have to analyze the data where it means something to you. But what you do get from the conversation feedback certainly leads you in the right direction of where you want to go look.
For both solving problems and saving money.
Exactly.
Well, thank you, Dave.
We all like to save money.
Who doesn't like to save money? Thank you, Dave.
Gene, thank you very much for your time. I think this was very insightful and helpful. To the participants who are still with us, we want to let you know that we'll be working to prepare this seminar, a recording of it, so you can watch it online. It'll be available on our website. And then if you had questions that you didn't feel comfortable asking, or you just you ran out of time to ask, you can send an email to Allen, ALLEN, at service800.com, and we'll consolidate those questions, get those to Dave, and then we'll also send out a written transcript of this presentation within a week. So take care, thanks for your time, and have a great day. Bye-bye.